Hi, my name is Olivia Wong and I'm with Fullei Fresh. My dad started what was then called Fullei Inc., F-U-L-L-Y as it was spelled, in 1978. And actually prior to that, my grandfather was a sprout grower in Cuba. So we're Cuban Chinese. My grandfather started in 1938, but then he stopped when he moved to the US. So we really count the last 42 years consecutively from 1978 onwards. And then Fullei Fresh, as it's now called, grows 20 varieties of sprouts. So we started doing mung beans, which are bean sprouts, and then we did soy, and we added alfalfa, we added clover, broccoli, daikon, we do a crunchy mix, garbanzos, added microgreens like these. These are your daikon. We do also snow pea, sunflower, wheatgrass, and all 20 varieties of sprouts and shoots. So the way that they're grown is the seeds come in, we source them from many different areas. The seeds are certified to be free of pathogens, but we do test them and sanitize them just as an extra step. And also because it falls under the FDA Sprout Safety Alliance guidelines, which are a requirement for the sprout industry. So the seeds come in, we sanitize them, we then plant them. Depending on the product, they're grown in different ways. These are planted in trays, and then there's other ones like your alfalfa that are planted in drum machines, which are machines that rotate and spray water every few hours. And then a person needs, so those, when they're grown in that, they grow on their own. And those are running 24/7. And then when it's time for harvest, a person has to come in, remove them from the machines. We wash them again, we spin dry, and they're ready for packing. So all in all, including office staff and drivers, we have almost 50 staff. And as I mentioned before, it's a 24/7 operation. So when people aren't here, the machines are still working and doing their thing. We do have staff on site 7 days a week, but at nights people can go home and rest because we try to give a little work-life balance to our staff. Not only do we grow sprouts, but we also sell seeds and kits to grow at home. So those who are really into growing or want a fun family activity can just purchase their seeds from us online. It's fulleifresh.com, and just check the spelling. It's F-U-L-L-E-I. That's how you spell Fullei. So at fulleifresh.com, you can order your seeds and kits so you can sprout at home. Very quick turnaround time. In as little as 3 to 7 days, depending on the product, you'll have fresh sprouts. So it's a very nutrient-dense food. It's got so many vitamins. The nutrients are in the seeds. So a lot of people think you need a full-grown vegetable to get all the nutrients, but that's actually a misnomer. It's actually from the seeds themselves where all the nutrients are in. The product is grown hydroponically using organic methods. So we don't use any additives, no pesticides, no preservatives, no herbicides. There's nothing artificial added. All we do is control the water quality, water temperature, humidity levels, room temperature, all these little things to produce good quality sprouts and shoots. So we are located right in the heart of Miami. We are actually hidden away in a warehouse. You wouldn't know it from the outside because it's all done hydroponically indoors. In all, our facility is 45,000 square feet, and we have the capacity to grow over 3 million pounds a year, which is pretty impressive considering how little sprouts weigh. For example, one container at retail could be anywhere from 2.5 to 4 ounces. So 3.5 pounds rather. Sorry, I got to redo that. 3 million pounds of sprouts grown a year is a pretty impressive number considering how little sprouts weigh. We do this right in the heart of Miami. We're located right off I-95 and Northeast 67th Street. So you wouldn't have any idea that you have a farm right in the middle of Miami. This is urban farming, it's hydroponic farming, it's vertical farming, it's very sustainable, and it's a quick crop. We can turn it around in 3 to 7 days typically. Depending on the item, some take as little as 3 days, some will take 10 days, but the majority of them are within 3 to 7 days. It's a very quick crop cycle. And there's almost zero waste. When you eat sprouts, you eat the entire plant from the seed head all the way to the roots. With the exception of the shoots like these have roots attached to them, but these roots you can't eat, so you cut the tops. Whatever we don't use here, we send it for composting. So again, it's a very sustainable crop. Hi again. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of our facility. These are sprouts that have been planted. They were planted yesterday, so that's why all you see are seeds, and they're just starting to sprout. In 3 days, they'll be ready to harvest. So we will take them out, we'll put them in the wash tank, and this will wash them. They'll come out, and then we're ready to go to the next area. So these are all more growing drums. There are nozzles inside which spray water, and then every few minutes they'll rotate to give airflow. Later on we'll turn on some lights so they have more photosynthesis. So this is broccoli. And it's the same seeds that would grow into full-grown broccoli, but the sprout is just the baby form. And that's something a lot of people don't know, that sprouts are baby vegetables. It's the same vegetable as a full-grown veg. So in here is packing. After the sprouts are washed, they go into these spinners. These are centrifuges that will spin rapidly to remove excess water. And then from here they can cool down. So the next day we're ready for packing. Some of the items like these are cut by hand. She's cutting sunflower right now. And the sunflower, you can't eat the roots, so the roots will send out to compost. The other products like your alfalfa are actually eaten root included. So I'll show you here. These are alfalfa sprouts, so they're getting ready to pack them. This is all clean. We clean these after every use. All the tables and everything are cleaned twice a day. We use soap and sanitizer on them. Everything that touches product is cleaned. We change our gloves every time we're going to switch product, anytime you touch something dirty. And due to COVID, now we have dividers as well as the implementation of masks and shields. So they pack by hand, it goes on the conveyor belt, and it gets labeled with a lot number and a sell-by date. And from here, it's ready to go in the cooler and ready for sale. So this is our lab where we test in-house for E. coli and Salmonella. Every lot and every machine is tested. What we do is we collect the spent irrigated water, which is the water that was dripping onto the sprouts. We collect that and we mix it with a powder and hot water, which is sterile water, of course. And we mix it and then we put it in incubators. And what it does is it'll detect any signs of E. coli or Salmonella. So by the next day, we already have an idea. If there were an issue, we would hold the product and we wouldn't sell it. Anything that ships out of here is clear to go. And then we also test for Listeria once in a while. I believe it's once a month. And Listeria is tested on all different surfaces. Okay. There's bean sprout being packed and bean sprout coming out of harvest. This is nicer. This is our shoots growing area. So here we have wheatgrass, sunflower, and snow pea. So on this side, these are snow pea, which is actually green peas. So if you see, these were just planted yesterday, and then these are a few days old. When they're full grown, they'll be about this high. And same thing, these are sunflower, a few days old, and on the other side you have almost full grown. And over here we've got wheatgrass. So these wheat seeds have been planted since yesterday. It's the same wheat that you would see like out in the fields in the Midwest, but this is just the baby form. So after a few days, they'll be transplanted over there. Be careful, it's slippery. And so they continue the growing process on these racks, and the machine will come down and spray water on both sides. There's different sizes. We sell them in cups for retail, and then we sell them in black trays for juice bars, as well as we cut them and then we'll sell them at Whole Foods, for example. So wheatgrass is actually extremely nutrient dense. And they say it's the most complete vegetable. It's got so many vitamins, so many great things. It detoxes your bloodstream. It does incredible wonders. And wheatgrass has to be juiced because your body can't ingest the blades. It's not like sprouts that you can eat them. The wheatgrass has to be juiced. So thank you so much for visiting with us today virtually. We hope you enjoyed the tour, and be sure to follow us on social media for recipes, tips, information. It's Fullei Fresh, spelled just like this. Fullei Fresh on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and also go to our website if you'd like to order any seeds or sprouting kits so you can sprout at home. You can also find the fresh sprouts at Florida stores such as Whole Foods, the Fresh Market, independent retailers like Milam's, Presidente, and more. So stay tuned. Thanks.